On today's Moving the Chains, we're going to start our new coaches / new hire segment. We had a great interview with officially the new Midland Valley Mustangs head coach, Brent Dorn. Gave us some great thoughts in this interview.
Yeah, man, got to be a relief to drop that interim tag, but gave us some definite good insights on the direction of the program, some players we need to be watching out for, and just a general, temperature gauge on what they're going to be doing in the upcoming season and beyond.
Yeah, so here's our interview with Midland Valley head coach Brent Dorn. Hope you guys enjoy here on Moving the Chains. Welcome into Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jerel. Hendricks. Got a great interview today. A very special guest, the new head coach of the Midland Valley Mustangs, Brent Dorn. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How about y'all?
Doing well, and we appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains, our website, movingchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Coach Dorn was hired in January. He was the interim head coach last year, leading Midland Valley to a 5-6 record. Prior, he was the OC of the Mustangs and also spent time at Fox Creek and Paul Knox Middle School. Coach, let's start with the transition. What's that kind of been like last year being the interim to now being, I guess, the official head coach, being the man and kind of knowing that it's your program here moving forward?
Well, I've kind of always held myself to a high standard and kind of always prepared myself for that one day when it does happen. So really only it's just the title change. Other than that, like I said, I've always prepared myself at the highest point I could.
So, Coach, Kevin gave a brief background, but if you don't mind telling us a little bit about your coaching career, how you got to this point, and just giving us a little bit more detail about yourself.
So I actually started out coaching basketball when I was in college, going back and helping my former middle school coach out. So that's what kind of led me into this profession. So did some AAU basketball for a while. And then once I graduated, I was blessed to go to Paul Knox and do head football and basketball there. So did that for 5 years. And then Coach Quinn called me over to Fox Creek. Spent time over there 3 years, and then that's when Higginbottom called me, the principal at Midland Valley, and was like, "Hey, I need you to come back home." So that's when I made that move back over.
Coach, obviously you mentioned you were there last year, so it's just kind of, I guess, your second year in the staff as the head man there. How's your coaching staff shaping up? Have you made any new changes for this year, or do you have most of the guys locked in here for 2025?
So our staff's pretty solid. We actually added 2 guys. So one's coming from Mobile, Alabama, Coach Brown. He's coming to coach DBs this year. And then I got a couple other ones that are going to be a little surprise for some people.
Well, Coach, if we want to know more about your style of play, because we actually did not get to see you play this past season, what do you guys like to do on the offensive side? What are you guys doing on the defensive side? And do you call plays on either side of the ball?
I'm still calling plays offensively, at least for this year, and we'll see about after that. But very spread, RPO, a lot of read option type stuff with obviously our quarterback, Xavier Jeter, being the athlete that he is. But want to try to develop that pass game a little bit more. It's something we've kind of put some focus on since the season's ended. And then defensively, just being versatile and just getting after the ball. Want all 11 to the ball, no loafs. Just making sure we make every tackle that we can, but being versatile up front with 4 down, 3 down, and just obviously mixing up the coverages.
Coach, one thing that I like to ask everybody we have on here, and this is always one of my favorite answers to hear, is, who are some guys that you really kind of, model your style after or look up to in the coaching ranks? Maybe it's a coach you had, or maybe it's a guy you watch on TV on Saturdays and Sundays, but who are some guys you try to kind of glean some stuff from, whether that's either X's and O's or just kind of how to run a program?
Well, obviously, being a Gator fan, so a little Steve Spurrier and Dan Mullen, definitely 2 guys I kind of like to see what they do with some personnel packages and just different things to get the ball to their best players.
last summer just had to have been a whirlwind for you. We mentioned you dropped the interim tag because you guys had some really good success, especially at the end of the season last year. What is it like for you early on in your tenure here, this first part, flipping the page into the year, going into spring ball, kind of setting the tone? You mentioned that you have prepared to be a head coach previously, but what's it been like the past couple of months to really take over the program and lay your particular foundation?
Man, it's just been a blessing. So for me, obviously being alum at Midland Valley, this is home to me. I don't want to go nowhere else. But just showing these kids who I really am, that's on and off the field, spending time with them, and just so pushing them really hard in the weight room, and just showing them what family's all about. Honestly, that's what I want the whole program to be about, is family, and just that love is something that truly is going to be a part of what we do. God's going to be a part of what we do. But just like I said, just showing them who I am, who our staff is. It's just one big family for us.
Coach, one of the reasons we do this show is to really, shine a light on some of the great players we have across our state. But with you guys specifically, who are some special guys coming back this year that we need to be on the lookout for, who might be some playmakers, and even maybe some guys that are younger that'll be stepping into big-time roles for you?
So we got a few. Got some young guys. I'll start with our seniors. First off, C.J. Richardson. He's coming back, DB. One of our top tacklers last year from the safety spot. Starting to take on that leadership role and push himself a little bit more in the weight room. And then two linebackers, Bryson Newton and Martin Ford. Two solid tacklers all over the field, especially Bryson. He's definition of sideline to sideline. Does a lot for us when we get into our nickel package. He comes to play that in. So those two are pretty special guys. And then offensively, obviously, Xavier Jeter. He's one of probably the best athletes I've had in my years coaching. And he's started to take that next step as a quarterback and understanding coverages and that kind of thing. And obviously, he's a freak athlete. He ran a 4.5 at the Carolina Combine. Coaches. And then you got Cam Gleaton, ranked number one tight end, South Carolina in his class. He's starting to develop and be that guy. So excited to see what he can do and take that next step in the offense. And then at running back, Preston Smith. Dude's an animal in the weight room. He's already in the 1,000-pound club as a freshman. So he was behind McNair this year, obviously, but excited to see what he does when it's his.
I got a question for you regarding you're talking about being an alum there. That's always special. We get to talk to the coaches here often who get to make that transition. And you mentioned it. You didn't want to go anywhere else. How special was it when you officially got that call, to be the head coach, at your alma mater?
Man, super excited. I still remember this year, even though the game one didn't go how we planned, but when our announcer, Ray Bond, got on and said, head coach Brent Dorn, man, the chills just went down my whole body. I still remember that and still can hear it in my head over and over. But no, it's an honor. I'm actually the first alum to be head football coach, so just want to hold myself to a high standard and show the community that they're going to get the best person out there.
Coach, you guys I think you're kind of in the spring practice time now. What are you hoping to learn from your team this offseason, and kind of, what are you looking to implement as you kind of get ready for a big run next year?
Honestly, it's just for us to take that next step. We played a lot of young guys last year. I still remember looking out that first playoff game versus Darlington. Had a sophomore quarterback, two freshman running backs, a freshman tight end, and a sophomore receiver out there. So just for us to take that next step and continue to take ownership and pride in what we do. And then we actually get some guys back healthy defensive line wise. A couple guys got banged up, one during spring ball last year and one in week 2 or 3 of this season. So excited to see them guys back, see them guys healthy.
Coach, as someone who specializes on the offensive side of the football, what are your opinions of the 7-on-7? As that's going to be jumping straight into that, once you get done with spring ball and some of the 11-on-11 stuff that's been implemented in South Carolina the last couple of years.
I kind of mixed emotions with 7-on-7. I get it. It works timing with quarterback, receivers, and all that. But just like I tell mine, it's not real football because pads, when they get put on, some people change. But, I mean, like I said, I get it. It's a great time and great chemistry just to kind of see the guys move around and be able to make some plays. But at the end of the day, it's not real football to me. That happens once the helmet and pads get strapped.
Coach, you mentioned it a few minutes ago, kind of taking that next step. Midland Valley is a program that had some down years over the past, 5 teams, you could say, but you guys have really been trending upward the past few seasons, it feels like. What is it going to take to really kind of start having some continued success there for you guys and making deep playoff runs year in and year out?
Just continue to do the little things the right way. We've kind of changed some things in the weight room. They've really bought into that. We just maxed out 2 weeks ago, and our squats were up about 70 per player. Bench and power clean were about up 20 per player. So just continue to handle the little things the right way. Just continue to grow football IQ. But just little things like that, I think, will kind of help trend us up in that direction. Both middle school coaches do a great job of implementing what we do. So continue to hit that, and then eventually reach down to the rec league and get them installing kind of what we do to kind of help continue to build on what we're trying to do at Midland Valley.
Put Founders in the game and win big with our great rates. Whether you're looking for a loan or want to grow your money with a certificate, Founders Federal Credit Union can help you move the chains on your financial goals. Not a member? No problem. Visit foundersfcu.com to see if you qualify. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply.
Couple easier ones here for you, Coach. Let's go today. So maybe it's on the bus ride to an away game on a Friday night, maybe sitting in your office for a home game on a Friday. But what's on your pregame playlist as you get ready to head out to the field?
Ooh, that's a good question. Some of that 2000s R&B and hip hop. That's the good stuff. This stuff they listen to now. It's kind of hit or miss now, but some good Usher, those kind of things. But that's typically on the top of it.
That's a first, though. We usually get, some rap music from that area, or also some country, but I don't think we've gotten R&B from that era. But that's some good music there. Coach,
big Life Jennings fan.
Okay.
Oh, Life Jennings, man, I love that
sir.
too.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Another question that we always ask every guest that we have here, and there's going to be added pressure to you because you're a local. Me and Kevin are coming down there to catch a game. We got to get a pregame meal. What's the restaurant or restaurants that we need to check out in that Graniteville area?
Ooh, there's some good ones. I'm gonna throw out a couple: Chick Snack in Graniteville and Blue Top.
Okay.
Two little smaller, owned in the county or in the city, but both very solid.
Okay. Now we talking some burgers there, Coach, or what you recommend on the menus over there?
Blue Top's burgers are top notch.
Perfect. Well, Coach, last one for you here, and I know it's a little bit early. You guys may not have this set yet, but do you have any early goals for this 2025 season for the Midland Valley Mustangs?
Just to kind of get back on track, and like I said, do the little things. We had a couple games last year where we lost because we fumbled away. So just closing out some of those closer games, and like I said, just continue to do the little things the right way, and that's on the field and off the field. And in the classroom. So just cleaning those things up.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go follow Coach Dorn and the Mustangs program on social media. They do a great job posting updates on their kids and their programs. Definitely check them out there. Like I mentioned, follow us on Facebook and all social media as well. MovingTheChains.com, our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Moving the Chains brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jerel, anything else for Coach Dorn before we let him go today?
Just want to say congratulations, first of all. That's got to be special. Being the head coach of your alma mater, being the first alum to be the head coach there has got to be extremely special. And I want to give you a kudos, too, because last year, we know how that story unfolded with you getting that interim role. You guys showed a bunch of resiliency. A lot of stuff didn't go your way, especially early in the season. You guys rallied, played some good football down the stretch, and it led to you getting that full-time gig. So I want to give you some congratulations. Your kids some congratulations in that community for hanging tough and, just really showing some special guts there. And we've really kept our eye on Midland Valley the last few years and don't expect that to change.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate what y'all do. Obviously covering the state and giving these kids a better spotlight that's needed in this state because there's some really good football players here.
Well, we appreciate that, Coach. Look forward to stopping by a practice or game, getting to meet you in person here soon. And best of luck this season, all right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.